Philosophy of Realism, Group 3. And he said to them, "Go into all the world and proclaim the gospel to the whole creation. Whoever believes and is baptized will be saved, but whoever does not believe will be condemned."
Mark chapter 16, verse 15 to 16.
Let's start with Aristotle. Aristotle, 383 to 322 BC, is recognized as the father of realism. Realism took a new impetus with the contribution of John Locke, an English philosopher. Realists believe that reality exists independent of the human mind, and the ultimate reality is the world of physical objects. The focus is on the body or the object. Truth is objective, what can be observed. Realism is an attitude of mind, a mode of thinking, and an attempt to explain the nature of things. This according to Demon 2008. Realism also represents the theory that particular things exist independently of our perception. Realism is said to be the doctrine that universals have a real objective existence. Now let's proceed with the basic concept of realism. Realism is a philosophy away from the world of ideas and is concerned with the study of the world that we live in. Realism believes that all knowledge is derived from experience, and realism believes that the real world is the world of nature. The realist believes that everything that exists in the universe is matter or energy, or matter in motion. Realism appears in four forms. First is the scholastic realism. Second is the humanistic literary realism. The third is the social realism. And the fourth is sense realism. For scholastic realism, the education and philosophy of scholarship realism is essentially dualistic. Dualistic means recognizes both natural and supernatural. The primary function of the mind in the world is that of cognition. The scholastic realist believes that change is not completely ruled out from scholastic system. Goodness is recommended to children as a divine command. Humanistic literary realism, also called as Berber realism. This form of realism believes that a complete knowledge of man, nature, society is needed to fit the individual for the realist or realities of life. Humanistic realists believe that education is gained through books and they should have actual use in one's life. Its purpose is to master man's own environing life, natural and social, through knowledge of broader life of ancients. It criticizes bookish knowledge because it believes that practical knowledge can be obtained through travel than books, excursions, observations, and experimentations. The contents of books is insufficient as a preparation for social life and to make judgment of the problems of society. Social realism explains that education should equip learners for a happy and successful life as a man of the world. Realism. Scientific realism is where its exponents are called innovators. Scientific realism, reality is based on what our senses can perceive. Sense realists believe that knowledge can be gained through our senses. Instruction should follow inductive method, and the ultimate purpose of education is still happiness with God. The laws of nature realism, it says that the realists believe that the physical world and the universe is operated by natural laws. Realism in science. According to realism, the realist tries to discover the truth with the help of scientific methods. Such a discovery of truth helps to control our environment. Realism and religion. There is no antagonism between realism and religion, although many realists opine that religion is merely man made and there is no God. Realism and value. Realists believe that a thing that has aesthetic value to the extent it harmonizes with beauty of nature. Realists think that behavior is what is socially and rationally acceptable. Realism and objectives of education. There are two educational objectives according to realism, and they are as follows. 1. To equip the learners with knowledge and skills needed to understand and master their physical environment. And 2. To enable the learner to adjust themselves to the realities of the physical world and to adjust with adult-approved behavior. Realism in education. The realists are concerned with the systematic organization of teaching and learning. Scientific evaluation is the most important contribution made by realism, and realism lays stress on the use of standardized tests. Realism and the role of a teacher. Realism does not attach much importance to the role of a teacher. The realist does not also give importance to the opinion of the teacher. Thank you for watching our presentation.